Well, hello again everyone on the internet and welcome back. As promised, we are now doing TTS, which isn't actually TTS, but this is part of the TTS universe. We're covering the Behemoth series, parts 1 through 3. And yes, it's a long video. Strap yourself in. Let's go. Alright, so before we begin, I just wanted to address one small thing about the Behemoth. Basically, the Behemoth is actually made by whatever this guy is, but he's part of the TTS community group, which, again, is just absolutely incredible. They are all just incredible individuals who create incredible content and stuff like that. Yeah, as you can see, the key people. Yeah, very big community that they have. But anywho, let's get on with the video. Here we go. Episode 1 of Behemoth. If you ever gave a shit about the Tyranids, then prepare yourself for Behemoth! The rise of the Great Devourer for the first terror. Now before we continue, I'm just going to address that this was made in 2015, 2 years after TTS was made. And this is an Imperial ship. As you can see, it's very triangular. There are many different types of ships, but these are just a basic super command ship. So it's just a single ship, but it contains like an entire army. Now I'm going to explain who are these individuals. They are Death Watch. Now, the best for describing it is this picture. Yeah, so essentially it's like, what if I told you could collect all the Space Marines? So, basically, Death Watch is basically the Black Ops units of different chapters of Space Marines. Normally, depending on which chapter you're from, you would be selected and then you would join the Death Watch. Now, either you would be sent there because you were a jerk and you needed some correction, or you were a veteran and you wanted to go there to represent your chapter. Either way, it's a great honor to be a member of the Death Watch. Alright? Now, I'll explain each of these characters later on into the story as it continues.
Hey, Galano, how is Crippen doing?
It's your right. We've heard rumors about a sudden change of his behavior lately.
Oh, well, I'd say he's fine. Oh, almost. Oh, yeah. Is there any problem? Well, truth be told, he's been very stressed recently because of... This is outrageous!
And this is Inquisitor Quitman, the individual that has been mentioned in past TTS episodes. So yeah, this is essentially his origin story of how he discovered the Tyranids, and what he did to stop them.
Utterly outrageous! It reaches a new unknown level of outrageosity! This... 6 months! 6 Darcy months since I placed an order from Niner. And it's still not here! Try to calm down, Inquisitor. I mean, it's not that long. I've heard that orders from Astartes and Ecclesia Archive can take even longer. After all, this is only... I need those new glasses, don't you understand? I can't see shit from these, so darn! These mindless fucking snails gave me sunglasses when I asked for normal ones. Yeah. But you are right. I should probably calm down.
Now as you can see, that is a very clear example of how Inquisitors would be. Big, freaking out, and then from there just be completely calm and logical.
Planet Tyrian has not been responding for a long time now. And not just to me, but all communications. And as much as I need those gases, we will arrive at the planet itself soon.
Now as you can see, that's kind of how Inquisitors would work. Because if this planet's not reporting in, then obviously something's not right. So they would send in an Inquisitor to perform an investigation. Depending on the threat level, the Inquisitor would then figure out what to call upon for aid, such as the Imperial Army, Space Marines, or just exterminate the entire planet because they're on a ship that's containing a metric crap ton of nuclear payload that literally, if we compare it to the Cold War, it is nothing.
Investigate about the reasons of such sightings. Go and prepare yourselves. And make me a mug of recap while you're at it. Are you sure you really need another? Yes.
The planet of Tyron has fallen silent. I would want not to sound paranoid. This seems a little suspicious, especially those times where anything can happen to isolate worlds.
Now, what he was mentioning, it is true actually. Isolated worlds that are basically away from like the Imperial and stuff could be successful. I swear my English is terrible today. Could be accessible to any attacks or anything like that. And that is one of the major problems and stuff like that. Due to the fact that one of the major problems that my chapter is trying to solve is try to create a way for all the planets to communicate without the reliance of psychers.
Oh, come on, old man. It's not like the entirety of Tyron has been wiped out by some random, well, fuck.
Language. Now, if you're probably wondering, that's a moon. That's how powerful the Tyranids are. They take everything. They don't just stop at taking everything in the house. They take the drywall, they take the whole building. Heck, they would probably even take everything, even the foundation in the basement. They wouldn't even leave the rocks.
Is that really Tyron?
What vile atrocity caused this?
Scans of decay. Nothing. No signs of life. There are no trees, mountains, water, buildings, animals. Even the planet's molten core has been extracted somehow.
So basically on a ship there is a lot of men and soldiers, not only some space marines, but also tech priests, which is this guy right here. They always keep them around for maintenance, repairs, but also to always bless the machine spirit. One of the crucial things to have in a group thing. Another thing that I should probably state is back in the last scene there was only 4 Death Watch members. That's how many they would give you if you were an Inquisitor and stuff like that, because that's how skilled Death Watch members were. You would get a squad of them. But please note, a single one of them could take on an army, because that's how strong they were and skilled in combat. I almost forgot to mention about the planet's core thing. Oh yeah, did I forget to mention they also take the planet's core? Yeah, that's right. They suck it completely dry. They take everything.
Something's dry.
Hey.
Like a blowjob. A terrible blowjob. Alright then, change of plan. We shall go down to the planet's surface and see if we can find clues as to what in the Emperor's name happened here. Draken!
Yes, Lord Klipman.
You shall stay here and relay back the information the ground teams find.
So I should probably explain Kraken real quick. An Inquisitor, basically the best way of describing it is, if he needed manpower, it's like, you, what do you do for a living? I make guns, I need you on my team. But congratulations, you now get a payroll, and now you're part of an elite team, and you get to travel with me across the universe. How does that sound? Okay, I'm in, let's go. That's essentially what it is. They handpick their teams, they always try to find what's available to them, and they would always promote, hey, I'm an Inquisitor, that kind of thing. And if you ever disregard an Inquisitor, you are a dead man. Remember, these people are like the CIA and FBI had a baby.
Even if I don't even know if you have arms or something. Whatever. Do your thing.
Yes.
A reference to the people who draw these characters. Which is, he doesn't have any arms that are displayed. That's all. So as you can see, yeah, this really represents it. But also, that right there is just a transport vehicle for Space Marines. Yeah, that's right. They have a built-in septic tank into those armors. But yeah, did I also forget they also take the air? That's right, they can take atmosphere. Now, this is an apothecary Death Watch soldier. Basically, apothecaries are the field medics of battle. And as you can see, this one is actually an ultramarine field medic. Field medic apothecary. Basically, heal the units, and if a space marine does die, it's their job to use this drill thing that's on his arm that has the insignia of the ultramarines to drill that into the person's chest and extract the gene seed so it can be reused for a future generation of space marines. Yeah, so that's really how incredible the gene seed is sometimes in battle. And he's also dressed differently because, again, it's to identify that he is the medic of battle.
I anticipate that they would have had a case of drowning due to the amount of thought produced in helmets.
Reminds me of the planet Skator. All those horny dark eldars are escaping the poop golems.
Thanks for reminding me about that.
I have no idea what poop golems are.
Now I'm going to have to book in another section of the mind cleanser.
What is this? Inquisitor Krigman, I have found something.
What is it, Owen?
As you can see, the Inquisitor is wearing a gas mask because the atmosphere. Now, if you're wondering why he's not wearing a gas mask, basically, Space Marines, they got like 3 hearts and stuff, so they can work on just a very simple, small atmosphere.
These are the personal belongings of Matos Varna, the person I tried to contact during all this time. Let's see. Heresy. Important thing.
So yeah, that's what it looks like. That's what it is, and we're just gonna move on.
Poncino anatomy. And what is this?
Most likely his data codex. This should provide us answers.
Indeed. Let us head back to the ship to read its content. And I will keep this for private personal research.
Alright. So I'm just going to explain, as you can see, the tech priest is trying to get the data core thing to work properly. And then from there you have these little grunts to the bottom right hand corner. These are just basic soldiers and stuff like that, nothing special. They're just dressed in the Navy uniform instead of the military uniform. That's all. And of course they have like las guns and some grenades.
There. It should start at any moment now.
Now, so you can explain, that is again another tech breeze of the Adeptus Mechanicum. And again, like I said, Inquisitors have access to multiple contacts and stuff like that. So clearly this person was there to work for the Inquisition, but also discover some sort of technology on that planet. Alright, now before that guy starts speaking, basically those were clippets of the Tyranids. Again, they are a species eradication life form, meaning they take out other species and they become the dominant one, due to the fact that what they do is they collect everything to form into biomass, and that's it. They are very hungry animals and stuff like that. And when you said the machine god, the Adeptus Mechanicus, they do not worship the Emperor. They worship this thing called the Omnisire, which is the machine god. That's all. And now, let's begin.
Fuck this.
this is very quite common in Warhammer 40k that people would commit suicide just because of how difficult it is. Or maybe someone else is going to kill you because you're running away from a battle. Look at you, Commissar. And as you can see, that's literally what it is for every single normal person in Warhammer 40k. They would just be scared.
What is this? What does it mean?
It means there's yet another settlement for us to deal with. Great!
Oh my, I feel hollow.
I told you not to eat so much bread this morning. This trash is full of gluten.
Gluten? Were you even paying attention to the video? How can you all stay so calm after?
Oh wait, you are deaf watch, you know. Never mind.
Yeah.
And that's why. Because again, it says, yeah, we're used to this kind of shit.
We're used to this kind of shit by now.
And that's what makes a Death Watch such an incredible force of nature. Seriously, you could send them through any world and they'll be like, whatever, let's do this. Because again, that's how trained they are. They have so much field experience as well as dealing with variety of xeno threats. So let's continue onward.
Well, gentlemen, what we have witnessed here is the rise of a new and surely fierce alien threat. A force apparently devouring planets to leave nothing more than a barren rock behind. To then grow even stronger and produce more lethal abominations. On this day, we shall know our enemy by the name that I shall give them. We shall know them as
The Space Hunts of Death! What?
If I may interfere, my
Alright, hang on. Yo, I just realized. So that white guy in the background, he's this sniper dude. And, yeah, that's all I know about him. I know he doesn't wear the apparel of the Death Watch, but he's just a sharpshooter. You'll see him later on, like, in part 3. Let's go.
What?
If I may interfere, my lord, this sounds a bit, long-winded. Why not call them Tyranids, for example, as a reference to the first planet to have succumbed to them?
Don't tell me what to do!
although, in fact, this isn't a bad idea. Let us use it. So as the name of the race will be Tyranid, the name of this specific fleet shall be, like this awesome monster I saw in one of my childhood color books. Behemoth!
This is actually a pretty cool name for something that's gonna kill us all, I must say.
Yeah, makes me feel less bored about the idea of another apocalyptically deadly xeno species to battle.
The only apocalyptic xeno that you had to deal with was the Shroom Boys, aka the Orcs. Also, to explain, you're probably a little bit confused by, okay, so let me get this straight. The Tyranids is the race, but they call it the Behemoth. That's because the Tyranids have different types of Tyranids. So think of it like the family tree and stuff. You got the Tyranids as a whole, but then you have separate branches of different types of Tyranids that specialize in special tactics. For instance, Behemoth was First Contact, so all it used was a basic type of units and stuff like that, because it just came into the universe, into our galaxy actually, or universe to be more specific. Now, what attracted them, there are many controversial things. Apparently it was some sort of lantern light that attracted them to our solar system, and that's it.
Astropath, try to reach Thandos and tell them about the Tyranids and the coming of Behemoth.
So that is an astropath. This is their navigator that they would use to travel from planets to planets, as well as going in and out through the warp, as well as it's their psychic communicator to different planets. As you can see, they are a psyker and stuff. And the reason why his eyes are covered, that is just to help with him focusing on his mind, to see through his mind and not in reality.
By my calculations, That planet is next in the path of the alien fleet.
I can't.
What?
I cannot penetrate the warp turmoil left by the passing of the alien fleet.
So they are obscure in our communications as well. Let us set course to Thandros ourselves. If we make good speed, we should be able to warn them before...
Fucking damn it!
This isn't good, my lord. According to the path this alien fleet is following, it seems their next target is Ultramar, the home of the Ultramarines.
You're right. We have confirmed the fact that we cannot outrun the Tyranid fleet. Astropath, you have to somehow overcome this waddle in the warp thing. It's the only chance we have.
I told you, I cannot penetrate the warp turmoil left by the passing of the alien fleet.
Now, to explain that, that's how the Tyranids would work. This is how people couldn't send help, because the Tyranids were invading them. Because when the Tyranids appear on a planet, they are essentially using the warp as a slingshot to help them move from point A to point B, as well as gravity. Please note, I am a little bit rusty when it comes to this. All I know is that Tyranids show up, your psychers don't work when it comes to communication, because they create this thing called the shadow in the warp. This is also why they are immune to chaos, and actually why the Tyranids developed a type of Tyranid branch specifically designed for battling demons.
Do it!
But I can't.
Just do it.
It is like pushing through a wall of iron with mere fists.
But just do it, though.
I told you, I can
Do it!
Well, maybe. If I had some means to focus my message more intensely.
Here. Go in that room alone so you can focus more easily. Do not worry. It will just be similar to full body constipation. Except it hurt in an incomparably superior scale and might end up killing you. But you astropaths are used to this kind of casualties anyway, aren't you?
I suppose.
Okay. Now to explain, Inquisitor equipment does have some psychic abilities.
I did it!
Did you actually shit in my room?
You told me it was going to be like constipation.
What I like is his eyes are all like bleeding and stuff due to the fact that he just had to go through the warp, because that's the surges through your eyes.
Take your multivitamins and magnesium tablets every morning.
Don't judge me!
Anyway, good job, Astropath. I hope the Ultramarines will get the message properly. We will try to get to their planet as well, in case they might not understand our warning, because it will probably be a bit blur.
So this is the Ultramarine area. This is the God Emperor himself, with his awesome little cool statue in their great big hall. And basically, I'm going to explain these two guys. So I forget the details. I know the black guy. He is a chaplain, which is basically they talk about the Emperor's religion, and he's all about fight for everyone and stuff like that. They also have these really cool artifacts that they just point at someone and you automatically burst into blue flames. It's absolutely incredible.
Another victory in the name of the Emperor.
Ventius shall be remembered as a great warrior who sacrificed himself to defeat the foul Basically, this is what Ultramarines do after a battle.
They honor their fallen, and they also just try to talk about the battle and stuff like that. And also, I just love that this guy's having a hard time trying to pronounce the name, because this is what everyone has to go through when it comes to Warhammer. Games Workshop, please make easier names.
The foul demon we had to fight.
You will, old friend. Now, let us go celebrate, shall we?
Okay, so this guy is a high-ranking Space Marine of the Ultramarines. I forget what rank or title he has, but basically you got him. He does look very ornate.
Of course.
So as you can see, these are just a ton of different Space Marines from different things. I'm not going to talk about each of them or anything like that. And the answer is yes, there is a Space Marine bar.
And then the sergeant said, "We made our base here, so I will die here."
That is Kitten's voice.
Oh, what a retard! That shit deserved to die! Did I tell you the time I tried out?
I'm going to mention this one. This is a Space Marine with a little robotic arm. And this is definitely from probably second or first edition. Now that's not a Space Marine, but I really don't know what they are. Please let me know in the comments down below if you know what this guy is. Just comment as a description, the old bearded sniper dude.
Whatever you say, Sergeant.
Honorable Battlebrothers, we have received an urgent message coming from some unidentified Imperial force.
Yeah?
Yes, Honorable Battlebrother. The message indicates that something huge, like a wave, is coming towards our sector. Like it was going to swallow it. Can you explain it further? I have no idea. It indicated that this threat was red and ferocious, and probably very nasty with a mean look and sharp teeth.
Word bearers coming to take their revenge for the 795th time?
So the word bearers are again is a traitor legion and stuff like that. Big beef with the Ultramarines. And also I just noticed there's a Tau head on that guy's back. That's interesting. But yeah, as you can tell, the message is very vague and very confused because again, this is why I hate communication when it comes to Warhammer 40k, because you gotta rely on psychers and the message could be so scrambled you can barely understand it.
Oh, maybe it's just a bunch of random retard pilgrims coming to fap to the corpse of Gulliman again.
Are you sure it's not the Alpha Legion fucking with us like that?
Now, Gilliman is their Primarch, who is currently in stasis from a fatal injury.
Impossible, Honorable Battlebrother. The message cannot lie. Psychers all around the sector.
Also, he just explained the Alpha Legion, again another traitor legion that is known for infiltration tactics.
Experiencing weird vibes as of recently. Something is coming, for sure.
I get it! We finally get that pizza delivery from Mars!
Why would you order pizza from Mars? It's just gonna be all metally and oily. Also, as you can clearly tell, this is how it is. The communication is screwed, but you can the psychers can definitely tell something's not right.
Everyone, take your call. And your honor. Let me speak. Oh, greetings, Chapter Master Monius Augustus Calgar. I believe.
So I'm going to explain the rank of Chapter Master. So you have the Primarch, and then you have the Chapter Master. Chapter Masters were created to lead 1,000 units. And then after that, they need to get another Chapter Master to lead another 1,000 units. That's how they keep them separate, as well as its division of power. This was during the second founding, which we will talk about in a later video.
This is a warning of something dangerous that is coming to us. We need to wait until we get more information. Our receptors have been sensing the arrivals of the Imperial ship in the sector. This is no coincidence. They shall explain themselves when they arrive. I still believe in the retard pilgrims theory.
This recap is probably the most unsatisfying mug I've ever had to drink, Deathwatch. I was hoping far more from an Astartes. You disappoint me.
Sir, with all my respect, Astartes are made for combat, not cooking. Also, it's not like we ever drink recap ourselves.
Astartes must best regular humans in all ways, Marine. You have failed me. Again.
And that is true. That is how things were, actually. And my apologies, I need to stand up. So apologies if you hear bones cracking. As you can tell, this is how old I am as an individual. I'm getting too old for this stuff. When I got that arthritis and stuff. But yeah, as you can see, that's how it is. Wait, hang on, what's that? Commander Morales Curry Recapped Balance Blend. Oh, that is adorable. But yeah. That's how it is supposed to be when it comes to everything. When it comes to Space Marines, they just gotta be better than humans. Now then, let me focus on this guy for a minute. So, Sword and Shield guy, he is a member of the Dark Angels chapter. And that's it. Yeah. And that's pretty much it. That's his rank as well as just who he is from what chapter he represents.
Well, this is still better than staying in the most fucking depressing chapter ever, I suppose.
A reference to the Dark Angels because they're so secretive, so depressed, you know, all that jazz.
Lord Gridman,
Oh, it is you, Draken. Have you got any further in your research about the Tyranids?
I have made intriguing discoveries. Given psychic might we have faced in the shadow of the warp, and witnessing the harmonic actions of these beasts that you can see in Barnard's records, I have theorized that all Tyranids seem to act under a single synaptic mind that allow them to synchronize, effectively making each individual part of one great entity. If we could acquire samples of one of these creatures, I could find out so much more interesting information with my research. Those creatures are fascinating.
Of course, as long as we get more ways to stop them in the process.
Yes.
Another totally sane fucko. Yay. Who is that Draken guy anyway?
Just one of my most brilliant researchers. He does a better work than most Majos. We can count on him. Now, make me another recap. So this is Makraj. I didn't expect us to be actually faster than the advance of the Hive Fleet.
Oh, well, I don't know, maybe they were busy with other things along the way.
My fellow squats, I wanted to personally dedicate that bar to our independence, and most of all to the success of our race.
Aye, what's that thing outside? Yes, that is the old
And that is why we do not have squats in Warhammer 40k.
explanation, I suppose. Ah, I was waiting for you to arrive, Marines. Guide us to your leader. We have
Now I should probably explain these two types of Space Marines. Basically, these are elite Ultramarine Sword Wielders. They are normally accompanied by the Chapter Master for security and stuff. Some of the very finest individuals.
important information to deliver. You are probably aware of that message we sent. Guide us, please.
Have you seen the
I'm just gonna state this. If they ever did this in the actual Warhammer 40k, they would be shot on sight.
He looks like fucking Marcus!
And why, you Gilbert's glorious drawing, do you have that hook on your head? Does it cover a third eye or some shit that shoots lasers?
And this is why you do not mess with an Inquisitor, because you could automatically get exterminatus. Because that's literally how it is. It's like, oh, instead of killing you, I'm killing your entire planet. That's right, you don't want to mess with them.
Excuse me, you blueberry fuckwits! You dare disrespect the Holy Inquisitor of the Holy Inquisition?
Calm yourself, Inquisitor. Come on, I mean, we've heard worse. You wouldn't be so upset if you took the medications I prescribed you. Not to mention those waffles you ate before our arrival.
What's going on there? Who is this? Are you the ones?
Oh, you must be the Chapter Master Marnius Augustus Galgar. I am Lord Inquisitor Criftman of the Ordo Zeno. I have traveled far in order to warn you of a new threat, fiercer than ever, that is coming for you.
All right. Inquisitor, come with me. Now the riffraff is out of the way. Tell me what you know.
Very well. An alien threat has risen from beyond the abyss. A swarm so vast that it blots out the stars. This horror fights neither for power nor territory, but rather to feed a hunger so insatiable that it will eventually devour the entire galaxy. So, yes, we call this threat the Tyranids. Those things have destroyed and literally eaten up at least 2 entire well-defended worlds.
So as you can see, this is a very clear example of them like using these little spikes to suck everything out into their ship. And this is definitely the aftermath when they are about to leave. Hence why there are only like these two members.
Each of murderous abominations. They basically swoop down, destroy everything in their path, and harvest all leftover biomass so that the swarm can grow in number, making the fleet even more powerful.
Okay.
Are you sure you are to be listening to everything?
I'm totally focused. Any more information?
Well, according to our research, they are disstyle killing machines linked via a psychic hive mind that knows nothing of mercy, reason, or negotiation. Fight or flee are the only options we have against them. Soon, before they arrive, they will generate a massive psychic phenomenon, referred to as a shadowy walk. It will cut off all psychic communications and leave you unable to call for reinforcements. I think this is pretty much everything we know so far.
Fine. Now get out of my marble palace before you make anything dirty! Oh, thanks for the warning.
Sure.
Master Calgar, enemy forces in our perimeter.
Where?
Nearby, but they were on the move. Current location unknown.
There's no time to be lost. Battle! Wait. What? We're about to make a terrible anachronistic reference, will we?
Oh, my. Oh, you made me tell us before it was too late. Thanks. Get kind of bad about it now.
It's fine. At least we stopped it before we wasted more time. So, farewell to Marines. Instead of making a useless prep speech because your morale is already fucking unbreakable, I will remind you all of the task are all to hand. When you see the enemy, you fire at them with everything you have.
So these anti-aircraft gun things are actually actual miniatures, which are very cool, and I really want to get my hands on like a couple of these things. They can swap from cannon to turret, and these are used for anti-air.
Weapons will have certainly slowed them down, but we have to finish the job ourselves. Whether they will dare to step their foul little buck feet on our awesome planet. Now I want all range weapons to fire at you. Assault squads to set up strategic ambushes to protect weapon batteries and firing squads. Does that sound real specific?
So as you can see, the Tyranids would come in through like drop pods, which are these little suckers. Which once when they engaged.
Master, sensors say that they're getting close.
Fair enough. Steady.
By the way, another thing is this might seem like it's just happening in a Pacific area. No, this is happening across the planet.
Steady.
Oh my gosh, that, hang on, guys. Okay, so I'm not going to go over each of the forms. I'm only going to do it if it's there individually. But this guy right in front of us is Old One-Eye. He's a special character type Xeno. I'm not going to explain Old One-Eye, but it's really nice that he made a cameo on this thing. I just noticed that. So as you can see, they are taking on small grunt Tyranids, and they are in Terminator armor. Dreadnought using a plasma gun. The assault squad's using jump packs to take on Tyranids. That's a Titan. A Dreadnought. And that has concluded part 1 of Behemoth. Let's go on to part 2. And we are back with part 2. So let's begin. Oh wait, I forgot. So the planet Margaris, and it's the 41st millennia, and it's then the 745 represents the year. And that represents the Tyranids on how they would adapt on the battlefield. They would adapt and change their tactics very easily.
Actually, I think this is becoming legitimately problematic, Master. The Tyranids seem to have become more vicious and cunning after that giant feast appeared. See? It's that death. Really annoying. Nonsense! Astonished will have our vulnerable place.
Oh, the honor guard. So that's the Swarm Lord, by the way. This one is configured in the 4-blade one. The miniature allows you to change him up to have wings and or let him have a gun.
Master Galgon, you want me to order a focus of blast cannon fire on this creature lines? Just standing right there. Absolutely not. It is challenging me, and I will not let this foul, piss-stained insult my honor. I think it might actually be taking advantage of our natural pride as humans to kill you and cut us off from your command, Master. Are you sure challenging such a thing is, wise? Let me see power now.
A reference to Dragon Ball Z.
Oh well, at least it was full. Almost made another weird reference.
By the way, that little text that just appeared, I was just talking about of how this background is extremely big. Now that's another Titan, a much smaller one, which are known as these little dog ones. And as you can see, all the small ones managed to take down that big Titan. So that just really illustrates how the Tyranids would work. Strength in numbers. So as you can see, it's been 100 years. And that's it, and that's the difference. And that's how it works. Again, they always win. Now, of course, in a previous video, I explained how they won in the actual lore. But no, for this one, it was just one of those Deus Ex Machinas. Basically, if I had to guess, I would say probably the Ultramarine backup battalion forces managed to do a pullback to the rally point, and then from there they pulled themselves forward, pushing the Tyranids back, and that's it.
Is that so? So after your head was slaughtered, and you, almost literally, had your ass handed to you by the superior Altairin, known as the Swarlord, you then what? Instantly and without explanation.
Yes, well, a couple of things happened. There were casualties, such as loss on the entire first company.
And the entire second and third company also.
That blue-class battleship and a very cool Baneblade that I actually like very much.
By the way, that blue tank that got destroyed early on in the battle, that was a Baneblade that was colored blue. I find that very funny that they even had a Baneblade, even though they can't even use it.
The spaceship sacrificed itself to allow victory. Sort of.
But of course I, Kato Sicarius, was not part of this, and thus survived to lead the chapter to a new glory, especially when I'll become chapter master.
Sicarius, what the fuck are you doing about Bo?
So Sicarius is another chapter master character, basically. This was before he became an actual chapter master, but again, he is just, let's just say he's going to be very annoying in the future.
Look enough! We want to use your head as a fucking broomstick!
He seemed a little more impressed than our last meet before the Tyranic War. Strange, considering the vast amount of victories they had lately.
Well, I suppose losing all of
And this was to illustrate that in the beginning, Games Workshop promoted the Blood Angels as the poster boy, but then they discovered with the power of colors can bring out different emotions. They then swapped it to the Ultramarines because of them being blue. That's all. And personally, I can see why. I mean, like, I literally have a picture of me behind one. Very nice picture, actually. Got that one from Hobbytown, USA.
oh god, the first company isn't really smiles and ice cream. Anyway, why did you call in to ask what happened? Everyone knows the Ultramarines won the Battle of Macron nowadays. And every other fucking battle since. I mean, seriously, what the fuck?
I just wanted to know what the key to their victory was, since I'm passing by Ultramar again. We need to keep records of any means we can use against these creatures. For example, I now have acknowledged that it is a bad idea to try and duel a 10-meter tall super bug dinosaur with crystal swords and psychic powers. It is, however, okay to make dreadful sacrifices in order to win against such relentless foes. Perhaps I could declare exterminatus on a massive scale so I can kill planets before the Tyranids do, starving them of biomass and supplies. Yes, that sounds good.
Well, that's not the stupidest idea I've ever heard.
And that's actually what he did. He actually was like, do exterminate to prevent it from happening. And it did slow down the Tyranids, but at the end of the day, it was more the lines of, it was just, hum, yum, 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 and eat. That's all. But yeah.
Except for the fact that the Ultra Smurfs didn't kill off the Hive Fleet entirely, did they?
I highly doubt that any meaningful numbers of them survive. Small tendrils only, such as the Dagon Hive Fleet. But that one is way too far from here for us to be concerned.
So the Dagon Hive Fleet. Again, as you can see, it's just a type of a separate hive fleet, specializing in different tactics.
Moreover, the Ultramarines most likely hunted down the other remains of those last years.
Fair enough. Well, I guess that means we don't have anything to worry about. I just had to open my mouth, didn't I?
Inquisitor, an alien fleet is targeting us. I think they've succeeded in breaching our vessel.
Proceed with the usual defense tactics.
Everyone, to battle Dagon!
Yeah, like I said, it contains an army.
BEHEMOTH.
You can question it later. Right now, it's time that I kick ass for the law.
Heck yeah.
Long have I waited to slay the enemies of man once more. For the Emperor! What? Oh, come on! After all these years of administration shit and recap making, we are finally faced with the most unlikely to flee enemy in the galaxy, and they flee!
This is truly disturbing. First the return of BEHEMOTH, and now they run from us?
Actually, Inquisitor, the entire Tyranid fleet is now retreating. I don't know what the fuck is going on anymore.
An entire Hive Fleet just fled from one ship? What in the Emperor's holy sock drawer is going on?
Inquisitor, are you alright? There has been an attack.
Everything is alright. The Tyranids threatening the ship are gone. For some reason.
Yeah, for a moment, I almost thought I was actually going to do what I'm fucking trained for.
Someone knows why this happened? They just came here to say hello, smell our ass cheeks, and leave.
I don't fucking know. Sure, fucking.
Ruin Priest Volan, you are the strongest psyker in this vessel. Have you sensed any disturbance that could give us a clue?
I sense the
So I should probably explain this guy now. So basically, it is true he is a psyker, but he's a psyker of the wolves, of the space wolves actually, and that's pretty much it.
on the warp moments before they arrived, but nothing else.
Who knows? Maybe they'll run off because I sensed the arrival of the Ultramary Fleet.
Speaking of which, what are they doing right now? You would believe they'd localize such a huge-ass threat as this in their own territory and destroy it.
It's probably because we're not in the middle of their empire. We were already leaving its borders, and we are now pretty much out of it. This tendril was maybe escaping Ultramar.
But why would the Ultramarines still be after them? When they're not hunting down these fellow Xenos with extreme prejudice?
You really believe such egomaniac pricks would bother defending the worlds beyond their own borders?
I don't want to sound like an ass on this one, but you are one of them.
I'll give you one guess on why I left them for Death Watch.
I understand what you mean.
This was my doing.
Draken.
Holy shit, he actually came out of his room to talk to people.
Let me explain. I nature and frequency had repulsed the creatures. A sort of anti-synapse, if you will.
What in the actual fuck? How could that even be possible?
Now, this is good news. You will have to show me how this device works.
Oh, I shall. But first, I suggest we hunt down this undefeated behemoth tendril. As the crew reports, it was of a dangerous size. Not as huge and devastating as the original, for sure, but still a primary threat.
Of course, we will begin tracking it down. And once we spot it, we can ask help from the Marines, who will probably be nearby, in order to vaporize the threat of Behemoth once and for all. Well, I suppose you all can go back to your, occupations. Anywho, time to contact the Marines again. Chapter Master Marnius Augustus Kautar, are you online?
Well, that was fighting before he hung up. For all we know, they're busy training for the next time they accomplish over-the-top bullshit.
Or the shadow in the war? I suppose we'll have to stop the tendril alone for now.
And thus they traveled, not knowing where exactly they were going. This horrid myopia was mostly due to the excessive fuckery caused by the so-called shadow in the warp. They were desperate to reach aim through their communication systems. Until...
And by the lack of penis he had, I found out this motherfucker was a lacrimal. So I punched him right in the groin, and he died.
Now, I'm just gonna state who this guy is. I actually have no idea what chapter he's a part of or anything like that. I was going to say like he would be a part of the Imperial Fist, but no, I don't think so. I think he's part of like a successor chapter of some kind, but I really do not know.
What a story, brother Linus.
Hey, babe, can you come in here? I need you to check something out.
Something. A thought. Just passed into my mind.
Sudden flashback thingy, huh? Those things happen sometimes.
No, actually, that's what happens with psychers. If two psychers are from a distance away, or like I haven't seen a psyker in a long time, you could feel a psyker's presence close to you, and therefore you can actually, I would say it's more like a hear their thoughts, but also see their thoughts, and that indicates that there's a psyker nearby.
I know some young wolf in my company. He may be less of an ass than the majority of us, but just mention his sister, and he just goes fucking berserk.
No. I just received a message from an outside force. I can't identify it exactly, but it was announcing they're coming.
Any ideas who?
Oh wait, he's a member of the Space Wolves, actually, now that just came to me. So they're both Space Wolves.
I can tell you this much. It was another librarian. This has...
So a librarian in the Space Marine like rank and stuff like that, librarians are labeled as psychic wielding Space Marines.
I'm from another chapter of the Starfies.
Now that ship's different because that front opening mouth thing is used to escort fighter craft out, but it does the same firepower as the other one, or maybe less.
We are surrounded by a Space Marine battle force wishing for a meeting. Well, you are independent enough to go settle this. In the meantime, I have more important researches to do.
Huh? Okay then. Well, they should arrive any second now. Our fifth guy isn't here with us. I know he's a loader, but he could at least...
Wait, they're coming.
I am Arthur Godfrey, captain of the Blood Ravens 4th Company.
So he's not canon, Then these are the Blood Ravens. I am just going to let this reaction go with it. And the guy to the left is the chaplain.
Blood Ravens? Go luck the reliquary. Well, this is a surprise. We weren't expecting your chapter specifically to be the one to greet us here.
You have entered the subsector of Victoria. We would like to know your motives as an inquisitorial force.
Oh?
Hey, it's funny because we have...
Linus, that's not important right now. Go ahead, Captain.
We are back from defending one of these worlds from a rebellion, but we recently located your rival. Both of our ships are traveling in the same direction, and we were curious about your goals, as we might be of any assistance, since we currently have our hands free of any duties.
And that's actually how it would work in Warhammer. Is that, hey, we're not doing anything, and these people are doing something, should we help them out? And that's really just how it really worked with the Imperium and their structure and stuff like that. And yeah.
Of course, we're actually...
Doing nothing special.
What is wrong? There is no need to be secretive of our goals on this occasion, surely. And an extra force of Astartes is exactly what we need.
Yes, but, well, I'm not so sure about these forces.
What do you mean? Has hanging around the Inquisitor this long damaged your trust in others that much?
No, Roland, you don't understand. Just this once. Please, trust me, and don't...
We are currently stalking a potential Xeno incursion.
Most fine. Our forces will join you in whatever you are doing, but we won't question the specifics if you do not wish to tell us. Make the rest of us aware.
And that's how it would work.
Nicholas, certainly, Captain.
Welcome then, and I thank you for offering to help.
But seriously, I think that we can deal with this issue by ourselves.
Today, we shall bring reinforcements to the Holy Inquisitorial Death Watch. They need us. Please forgive us for not giving much detail in the psychic message sent earlier. Our psychics had troubles trying to overcome some sort of ominous curse preventing any outside communication.
Ah, yes, the shadow in the wall. The best trolling weapon ever conceived by Xeno minds.
I will inform Krypton of this good news.
I will accompany you, Roland. Wilfred, assure that they return to their cruiser.
Fascinating. So this is how they actually do it.
Inquisitor Krypt?
The fuck?
Whoa.
But how?
Would you turn that off for a minute, Inquisitor? This is rather distracting. We've come to inform you that a whole company of Space Marines just joined us.
Oh? Are they Ultramarines?
Unfortunately, no.
Well, at the very least, we still have some more forces for when we face the alien menace. Any news on the High Fleet's location?
According to our sensors, the High Fleet's presence has faded away. But Psyker sensed the shadow in the port still. As you can see.
Actually, yes, I still sense it as well. Which means they could be very near. Perhaps they are hiding somehow.
Well, unless the entire High Fleet is cramped behind an asteroid somewhere, I doubt it. There isn't really very many places to hide it, you know, for in space.
I do not think they wish to confront us again after the use of Kraken's device. They could potentially wipe us out in one good assault if they wanted to. But they flee still.
That's what I thought as well. Although we have the Blood Ravens on our side, I think the fight would have been more evenly matched.
Blood Ravens? Lock the reliquary.
Already done, sir.
So now it's time for Neeks to explain why everyone does not like the Blood Ravens. So the Blood Ravens are known for I came to do two things: purge heretics and steal your property. And I already stole your property. And that's actually what they would do. Now, they're doing this dumb thing that they would collect relics, which is why they have to lock the reliquary. Because somehow they would steal the relics for this big thing, and I forget the details of it because it's been so long since I looked at the Blood Angels. But essentially, they're collecting these relics for something, and that's it.
I still don't understand what you two are talking about.
You will when you...
And I forgot to mention, and what makes relics are so unique are just ancient weapons that they might use for battle or any assistance if necessary.
I'm the eldest among us.
We can say for sure that this Victoria subsector might be a primary target for the head of Tyranny fleet. Precisely the hive world inhabiting in the very heart. Victoria Primus.
A hive world. Perfect target for a tyrant fleet. Large and highly populated.
So this means if they succeed to assimilate Victoria Primus,
Then this Tendro will become even more of a threat. Unacceptable.
Here we go again. Well, maybe I'll actually get to do my fucking jump for once.
Well, I might have a specific tactic to prevent the planet from being assimilated.
I don't need any mind reader ability to see what you mean. Wiping out a hive world is generally considered a terrible move, Inquisitor. All the resources, the potential recruits, but human lives. You're the type to take a last one into account, that is.
Oh, of course. Do not worry, Rude Priest. We do not even have the confirmation this planet is going to be assimilated anyways. We shall investigate the planet itself to detect any sign of infestation.
I suppose it would be within reason for us to go with you, Inquisitor.
Where did you come from?
Oh,
And that's how, just, I would say not dangerous, but that just shows how capable the Blood Angels are.
the door was wide open.
They're actually a bunch of nice people. I let them in.
And so, the Order of Xenos and Blood Raven's forces did arrive on the Hive World.
Now, the Order of Xenos is, again, that's what Cryptman is a part of, and the Inquisitional branch is the Order of Xenos, which is dealing with Xeno problems.
Victoria Primus, facing ruthless administrative complications and stubborn resistance from the local population.
And so those person wielding shotguns, those are just the police force. Basically, if you commit a crime, you get a shot through the head with that shotgun. Think of Dredd.
Fortunately, with staunch bravery, an iron will, and copious amounts of exterminatus threats, they were granted the approval to investigate any nearby Xeno activity.
Nice. Although I don't have any idea how we're supposed to check the planet for potential infestation or gene stealer cults.
So one of the infiltration tactics is they would send an ancient, one of a gene stealer, and basically he would send this weird slug thing to a human, which will trigger them to be very sexually active, to have kids, and those kids would be half human, half Xeno, and then they would reproduce, creating a massive cultist kind of group, as well as these individuals taking high individual spots, and when the high fleet comes, they would, become and everything like that. Now, it's viewed as a religion because they are an occultist group. They don't know the actual reasoning for why the Tyranid fleet comes and stuff like that.
It's been so long since we've done our fucking jobs.
As well as Tyranids might send a small group of Tyranids, such as a Tentacle Cthulhu thing, to perform assassinations to spread fear in the population.
Actually forgot how to do it.
Going around interrogating people about an alien attack or abnormal vegetation growth.
Yeah, we might want to use that thing the purple little guy invented that worked before. Once we know the Tyranids are present.
Oh yeah, Draken's device thingy. I'm sure that'll help.
The Blood Ravens here can also aid us in this task.
Very well, Inquisitor.
I swear on it.
Oh, careful. I shall go back to our ship in orbit. In case I would have to declare, you know.
Now what he just did was he just teleported back this ship. Because teleportation does exist, but it's only for recalling back to a ship.
Your Inquisitor seems in desperate need of help. Rather surprising from someone within the powerful Inquisition. Despite being cut off from any reinforcement, do you not have any means of your own to take care of this problem?
Let's just say we're not very.
You can say it's one of the worst inquisitorial forces.
Well, this only happened when Watch Captain Vythoricus left the team to go on his crusades.
No, I personally don't miss him.
Stand fast, Death Watch. We can handle a few gene stealers.
Now, Gene Stealers are basically a part of the Tyranids, but before that they were their own separate faction, but then Games Workshop compared them and combined them together. Yeah, and as you can see, their captain is in Terminator armor.
Oh, now that is our little Colosso, faltering to a handful of Xenos. But then again, he's from the chapter where Captain Scream, like little girls under stripes in the hand.
That is why you don't put a zealous fuckwit in command of one of the most pragmatic organizations in the Imperium. Although, to be fair, since he left, I've basically swapped from champion to recap dispenser. I even wonder why I still hold this fucking sword. He was pretty competent, Kamato. You were just victimized, that's different. It wasn't. No, fuck.
And at least you weren't as badly victimized as you were on Skitor.
Thanks for reminding me about that. Now I'm going to have to book in another session with the Mind Cleanser.
I forgot what the Mind Cleanser does. It just cleanses the minds, remove thoughts.
Captain, we have suspicious reports from citizens.
Oh, yes?
A specific city claims to be the target of a very tall, murderous, silent beast that sucks the brain out of its victims. That fits the description of Xenostate.
This creature. Do we have any further description?
Well, we do have a portrait done by the local architects, but I believe it is possible that the fear of the witnesses made it rather unreliable.
Do show me.
Here.
So that's the... hang on.
I'm getting too chivalrous for this shit. Oh, send this to the Death Watches. I suppose they will know.
Well, that's a lictor.
Oh yeah, that's it. So the Lictor is a special unit. Again, this is what they are used for infiltration tactics to spread fear, as I've mentioned, and it has boobs.
Oops. I don't know what the person was on when he was drawing this, but I sure as shit don't want any.
And I would like some.
Sounds like one hell of a party to me.
Well, we better make Kryptman aware of this so he can use Draken's thingy-ma-what's-it to possibly force the High Fleet to not approach this world. Let's send a message to him.
Aren't we going to the ship ourselves?
Do you remember the last time we got to have some fresh air outside of Kryptman's flying recap party van?
Yeah, let's hang out here some more. It's been too long since we had fun.
You do realize there's a Tyranid fleet on its way here to eat the planet?
And that's why we better enjoy it now.
By the way, the box kid is part of this bigger thing. We'll see him in future videos.
Lord Kryptman, the Death Watch on Victoria Primus' surface are confirming Xeno presence that speaks of the first step of Tyranid infestation on the planet. They also request using, and I'm quoting them here, sir, the little purple guy's device.
Very well. Kraken, Tyranids have been confirmed on these hive worlds. We need your... Kraken? Follow me, Acolyte.
Whoa, where are we going?
Kraken's room.
Really? It's the one place nobody is allowed to go.
If he's not in his room, then we will activate this Tyranid repulsive ourselves. Him not responding is also unusual. Kraken, are you in? Let us enter. This is the device. Strange.
Man, whatever he has been doing here, it looks like it's pretty nasty. I still don't get how you could trust this dragon guy. Never looked like the kind of person you trust, like an old friend, you know? I mean, who knows what kind of weird, creepy, secret shit he's been working on.
Or the real secret would be himself.
What do you mean, my lord?
I can tell you, but you must promise me to let yourself be shot in the head after.
What?
And this is how it'd be like when it comes to information. It's like, I'll tell you, but I'm gonna kill you afterwards.
Well, actually, making you aware of the existence of a secret already condemns you. So you are pretty much already dead.
Mm-hmm.
I can still answer your question, though, if you'd rather know.
This is discouraging. Okay then, go ahead. Might as well. What's this dragon guy's deal?
The details of his identity and his recruitment in the Ordo Xeno have always remained classified. For many would consider this a blasphemy and sue me and my whole crew. I am unsure how other Inquisitors would react if I tell them one of my researchers is a Xeno Horrificus. Good thing he had that operation for his legs.
What? You don't mean he's a gene stealer?
Oh, come now, human resource. That would not make any sense. Gene stealers are tyranny by the Emperor.
What? What is it?
I have been a fool.
Indeed, you have.
Huh?
This device repulsing the Tyranids. It was all false, wasn't it?
It does work, but only to call for the hive mind. I successfully found and evoked a long-lost tendril of Behemoth that had been drifting aimlessly in the void of space, dormant for a century. I thank you, my lord. I thank you for allowing me to build this marvelous synapse synthesizer.
That's just a part of a Tyranid with a calculator strapped to it.
Thanks to the sample of various Tyranids you provided me after the Battle of Macragge. It is my masterwork, made possible by my flawless infiltration.
Infiltration?
You have been fooled from the start of this endeavor. Not all the Tyranids that attacked previously left the ship. I have masked their direct presence with this device as they wait on board in the ship's darkest corners for the right time to strike.
And you're only striking now? You could have done that from the start when Behemoth showed itself for the first time, and when we were horribly outnumbered.
Well, I was still intimidated by your policies. But I only gave away obvious information that any average intelligence human would have found out about us. In due time, anyway. But you have willingly brought us such a bountiful feast as this hive world, so I shall not wait much longer. That is yet another thing I can thank you for, Lord Crickman.
But why would you do that? You're with the Imperium. Emperor. He was sided with the Gene Stealer cult all along. We must set on the alarm.
Gene stealers. Not quite. But if you are searching for those, I
So those are gene stealers.
I should have known your kind was only good for extinction. My only regret now is that I won't be able to study further the link between you and them.
Enough of being humiliated and used. I shall rise, and once more assume my true nature.
Not the luck, son of a... Clever girl. One shot. One kill.
And that's the fifth guy, the sniper dude.
Watch, assemble.
By the Emperor. That was so refreshing. Yes, fucking last. I am reborn. Yes, I feel great.
This is what happens when you mess with the X-Men.
You mean Dev?
I feel
Oh my! We've actually survived?
I have indeed. But where is Draken?
I suppose he had the time to run away while we were busy fighting gene stealers. He couldn't have gone very far.
How did you get back here in time?
Wait, what? Oh, sorry. Well, we received an emergency message from Cyrus, who perceived suspicious noises while he was staying on the ship during all this time. We also had doubts about the fact that you could have suddenly decided to use your radical methods for dealing with the infestation and basically blow it up while we were still on there.
Oh no, I would never send my precious death watches to a certain death. Who would make me retard death?
And back down we go.
We purged the rest of the xenopresences that had manifested themselves on the ship. This cruiser was a genuine insect hole.
Yeah, so that's one of the unique things about the Tyranids is that they can just hide very well on a ship.
How did you get back in here again?
We followed you.
You didn't purge everything. Look there. Someone fired an emergency capsule. He's getting away.
Damn you, Imperium! Damn you, Gridman! Rejoice while you can, but you will never withstand what is to come. Not even the Ultramarines can censure. What the fuck?
Yeah, as you can see, he's being eaten by the Hive fleet. So yeah, he's not a gene stealer or anything, but think of it like he agrees with the Tyranids' beliefs, so to speak.
Well, I'd say that solves one of our problems. So it seems that Draken was a traitor all along. How is he related to the Tyranids?
Nothing I can reveal you. Unless you accept to use the mind cleanser right after.
Ah, well, he's dead anyway, so it probably doesn't matter. Although, now we have bigger problems.
No good. Never give the hive mind time to grow.
Here they come. And that's the end of part 2. On to part 3. Alright, and we're back with Behemoth part 3. Okay, hang on. Alright, part 3. Let's do this. Okay, there's no actual tentacles, it's just a fleet of tiny little ant things. As you can see, there's no actual tentacles.
shit. Looks like Mama Hive Mind didn't cherish her last go in her.
A fair assessment, Brother Lydius. Or perhaps they finally possessed the necessary intel to make their strike.
Look at them.
And to explain that, that is actually how the Tyranids would work, actually. Infiltration tactics, gain information, and if that fails, it's like, oh well, yeah. That's another thing that the Tyranids have done throughout the millennia. They have always improved their tactics and stuff. I mean, like, this is why I love the Tyranids so much in Warhammer 40k, which is why I created a chapter designed to deal with Tyranids, especially in combat. And I know I always keep referencing my chapter, but this is a chapter, I don't have actual miniatures of them to make them exist. All I have is the avatar that you guys see sometimes. That is the only actual canon of my chapter. But I do really want to talk about them one of these days. You guys just gotta wait like maybe until towards the end of 2015 or halfway through 2024. It's one of those weird things, but let's go.
News. Speak quickly. Our coverage scans have identified the incoming bioships as part of a massive Tyranid hive fleet. By our estimates, there's not enough time to mount a proper defense.
I thought as much. At this point,
Now, if you're wondering, he looks extremely different. There's been a time skip. Remember, he didn't post these all at once. It was like he kept adding and adding, and he just improved them as they went. That's why this has much more detail to it.
my personal diagnosis is that we are all going to suffer in alien strife performing full-body castrations on our innards. Unless we have an exterminatus fleet perform.
That's not right, Crickman, and you know it. The planet of Victoria Primus is too valuable to lose, and millions of lives are at stake. We can yet fight back this infestation. We are Deathwatch, the shield that slays. We cannot allow ourselves to be so complacent.
Did you get your conscription call in a cereal box, you furry fuck? The servants of the Inquisition kill random mortals on a daily basis for that exact reason, rude priest. This isn't some gaggle of orcs or a Yungal fellatio fraternity. This is an Emperor-damned hive fleet. They have billions of warriors. We're not going to push back a Tyranid fleet just by believing in ourselves or the power of friendship or some shit.
A reference to every single generic anime. I've also noticed that all of these Space Marines have some battle damage on them. I just noticed that.
I necessarily disagree with you, Kaleo Blood. Did you just call our chapter a bunch of furry fucks, you green leaf flying mount?
Oh, so it is true.
Do you like the sound of it, you savage? Why don't you go howl about it in your shit-filled private quarters? And as for you, you soggy space druid, you act all wise and knowing, but you wouldn't know a Tyranid from an elk's hairy ass.
Safewatch, compose yourselves right now.
That was just uncalled for, Kalato. You better take that back and apologize.
Oh, weep, meat, whine the wolf.
Where you go fucking gyrate?
Deathwatch! Compose yourselves, these...
And also, this is kind of common for it to happen. Space Marines, you know, they might be good and all that stuff, but yeah, sometimes they will lash out in anger sometimes, which really defines them as not the perfect soldiers, but they are, you know, still have that humanity kind of thing to them.
Or I will declare an exterminatus on this very fucking ship! You think you scared me, you can't.
What I like is literally, like, the Inquisitor is so small compared to these guys. And again, Space Marines are like 6 feet tall.
I'll take this fucking
Orders, Captain? We, return to our fleet and battle the aliens our way, I guess. Roger, roger.
So, you want to do it, or shall I? Go ahead. Right. The poop golems, they're back! No! Where are they? I just cleansed my mind of those filthy, homunculus fucking abominations! Just a prank, idiot. Sorry, not sorry. You fucking ass! Well, now that I have your attention, can we decide upon what to do with the Hive Fleet, please? The Blood Ravens have already gone to battle it.
The intention will be to wipe out the planet.
My lord?
This is the point of no return, and you know it. Besides, this is my decision.
The problem may be in closer proximity than your specs has told us. I am only here to give my advice, Lord Dripman, and you know that. But if there is no other choice... Inquisitor, Deathwatch, I really think you should...
We are talking and you are not allowed in this court of acolyte.
So as I intended on doing...
What? My Caliban's crippled cough, what the fuck is that?
Meanwhile, on the planet, preparing for the battle. So, to explain the cloud up in the top, that is actually what would happen on, like, Hive Worlds, actually. Basically, the Tyranids would create an atmosphere for their advantage, which is, like, basically, I don't know, it's like a gas cloud kind of stuff, really screwing up the atmosphere in battle. Hang on. Okay, so we got a church boy, we got a person with a bolter, we got a psychic person because he's sensing the shadow of the warp, and we have the box kid who got hit in the head with the bat from last episode. Okay, so basically the guy on the left is a warden. He's all like, you know, order and stuff like that, you know, the drill. You know, he's a law enforcement kind of guy, just like the guy with the shotgun. And that's the Adaptus Cerritas, you know, the Sisters of Battle, the nuns with guns. And she is like the general, she's like the ones in charge of all of them on the planet. That's all.
But upon their arrival, the Ordo Xeno warned us of an invasion by a Xeno species called Tyranids, or something.
A reference to how difficult it is to pronounce all these names in Warhammer.
They are supposedly deploying an entire fleet's worth on the planet, which is to say a few billion creatures.
How are we supposed to judge, jury, and execute our billion enemies? The Reamers are enough to kill us all!
I suppose us battle sisters would first die horribly in order to protect you all.
And that is what they did on a daily basis. That is why they are nuns with guns.
Then you will desperately hold lines until the arrival of the Adeptus Astartes.
Do not fear, noble sororitas. We are here, and we shall assist you in the defense. Compose yourself, Trigger Witch. Why would you do that?
Slaughter mode activates as soon as mutants are located. What were you expecting?
I'm a space marine. Look at my armor.
Space Marines are technically mutants, damn it!
Technically they are, because they are genetically created.
Time to process the fact that I'm not supposed to murder you. You arrived so suddenly, so I couldn't.
I'll accept that excuse for now, for we have a plan to defend.
Men and women of the court, we, the Emperor's chosen jury, prepare our verdict. You are the cable, you are the centers, and I am the law.
Sure, whatever.
What happened? Those disgusting noises.
Auspex scans report that we're being consumed by a hive ship about 10 times bigger than our own vessel. If you look outside the hoplot, you can see the ship being passionately wrapped in an alien meat barn.
That's one hell of a fellatio. I'm actually impressed.
You sense anything, Voland?
My mind is gravely assaulted by visions of tentacular horrors. The shadow in the warp reigns supreme here. I cannot focus.
Well, shit, we'll have to rely on logic then. Hasn't been our strong suit thus far, though.
My crew are dead men walking, and aid from the outside is out of the question. What we must do is clear as Amasek.
What? Perform collective suicide?
We must perform a boarding action onto this hive ship and slay its Norn Queen.
The Norn Queen? You mean Mama Hive Mind herself? The beast controlling the entire Hive fleet. The one that births billions of creatures that make up the entire swarm.
That's nonsensical, Lord Crickman. How do we even know the Queen is on this ship?
Besides our scan reports, you can always consider that it is capable of swallowing an entire Mars-class battle cruiser. A fair assumption would be that this is the biggest hive ship in their fleet. Bringing the Norn Queen down will sever their synaptic connection with the hive mind, and gravely disorient the remainder of the fleet.
This is no bad plan on top.
True, but he forgot to mention that the Norcreen is also like the Queen Bee. She's constantly giving birth to new Tyranids for battle usage, as well as research and development. Not only that, but the Norcreen is heavily guarded by heavy-class, armored-clad warrior Tyranids and stuff like that. Essentially think Alien. It's about the Queen, man. It's all about that Queen.
But the thought of infiltrating a fully functioning hive ship to kill its queen is... How do I put this?
We might as well hop into the Eye of Terror to kidnap a demon Primarch.
Do not forget who...
And yeah, so that's what he just described was hop into the warp and kill a demon Primarch. That represents, in a nutshell, something so absolutely impossible that it's legally cannot be impossible by the laws of it being impossible to do. Because a demon Primarch is on a demon homeworld that's in the warp, and you need to find him in the warp, and there is no actual physical map of the warp, just different areas of terrain that the different types of Chaos Gods own. And even if you land and find the specific place, you still gotta search in that Pacific District area to find the Pacific area and stuff like that. And here's the thing. A single neighborhood could represent countries. That's how big it's gonna get in the warp.
Authority here. I have already calculated 100 potential plans for our boarding action, and I have narrowed it down to one that is less suicidal than the others. Poland will need you.
Let me guess. I must conjure a gate of infinity to blindly try and break into the Tyranid ship, correct? Without any idea as to where this will get us?
Not blindly. You shall attempt to find the psychic signature of the Norn Queen and lead us to its lair.
You think me able to do that? The shadow in the warp is viciously scratching at the gates of my mind. Letting it in would be suicide.
Are you a chosen ruined priest of the Death Watch? Or are you a fucking pussy lord?
Very well, Inquisitor. I shall do my best.
Meanwhile, back at the Hive Cities.
Good people of Victoria Primus, you have proven yourselves willing to defend your home. You have put aside your differences for the sake of this.
To the left, we have people from Necromunda, which is like the Underhive, which are all about like gangs and stuff like that. And to the left, we have, judges, the law enforcement. And again, these two are always at war with each other, but as you can see, they are now uniting.
Safety.
Arbitrator Porker
Creep. A nice and wholesome act. Much like our marshal here would have said, today you are all the law.
No! It was like an officer returning illegal.
Right. And much like the fearsome sisters of battle, you are all the fires that shall burn away the enemy.
That is punishment if you are always cheerful in the Sisters of Battle. It's always serious there.
We shall show these to...
Now, I'm probably going to explain why the Chapter Master is having such a hard time. Again, Space Marines, they really don't interact with the public or other factions. It's all about go to battle, return. Go to battle, return. That's pretty much how it is. There really isn't any social interaction or understanding of the outside world, so to speak.
Is it pronounced tyranids or tyrannids? That is a
I already made that joke.
controversial topic, Captain. What?
But that is a reference to the community. When you pronounce something, the community will always argue over how do you pronounce it.
We shall show these aliens that the Imperium of Man is united in a single...
Whoa, 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 whoa. Did he just say the A word? Oh, no, 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 no. You gotta call them Xenos, man. That's how we do things.
Pause. Bringing death to our enemies.
That picture back there was not canon.
We die this day. We die in glory. We die heroes' deaths, but we shall not die. No, it is the enemy who will taste death and defeat. Defeat. I said defeat, please. Well, I think I nailed it.
Splendid! Beautiful! I cried!
I have no idea why she was frothing at the mouth.
What? Oh, it has begun. All right. Steady. Steady. Destroy them!
As you can clearly see, even though they were well prepared, they still got screwed up. That's acid. Huh.
Oh boy. Everyone, fall back! Let the right remain silent, coward! We're dying en masse. Retreat!
I have no idea what that was, but I know what they did was doing a psychic teleportation thing. Now, one thing we're going to address is what really happens when a ship gets digested by a Tyranid ship. Basically, afterwards when it reaches the stomach line, the stomach, it starts releasing maggots, and they're going to eat through the hull of the ship and eat the people inside the ship. Suicide is your best option if that ever happens to you. Trust me. Otherwise, you're going to be eaten alive by thousands of tiny Tyranids. It's the size of big maggots. That is from Gears 4. This picture is also from Gears 4, with just some weird background. And that's the Marcus Venus hive spot.
It actually worked. Looks like your powers are actually useful for once,
So what's happening is the Shadow Warp has affected his mind, and now he is lost in his own mind. Psychically broken.
Do not worry. Just some psychic backlash. He will get back to us in short time. Hopefully.
Yeah, it's all about, like, you lost yourself in your own mind, you gotta find your way back. It's very simple if you're a trained psyker. And since he's a veteran space wolf, he will be okay.
This hive ship is huge, though. Finding the queen will be quite the hassle.
Oh, you mean like that?
Found it. What's this? Sushi with a dick?
So that's the Nord Queen. I don't know if that's actually what a Nord Queen looks like, because there are no actual photos of the Nord Queen. But as for all these little guys, as you can tell, this is her army and all that good stuff.
The Nord Queen's vanguard. Oh, is that right?
Done.
What?
Also, that is possible in Warhammer.
what I do.
And what you do is be a AAA plus dickhead. Do you know how rare these occasions to kick ass are?
The fuck are you waiting for? Kill the queen while it's not guarded! Psychic assault! We must overcome to attack! Feels like brave and...
Now I'm going to explain this. The Tyranids do have access to psychic attacks and abilities. They actually have special Tyranid units that do psychic abilities, but the Nord Queen also has psychic abilities. Because I know some people would state that the Tyranids don't have psychic abilities, only a select few of them do. But all of them have a hive mind psychic ability to communicate to one another telepathically.
It's probably actually is.
Stay strong, sisters! The Emperor is still with us! Purge the unclean! Burn the... What are you doing?
Excuse me, miss. I was just contemplating your taste in prayer.
Don't you have a freaking gun to fire? Orders to give?
But knowledge is power.
Look, we're a bit in the middle of a last stand right now.
Oh, looks like she fell. Are you okay, sister?
No, I fell on the ground, idiot.
Now I'm gonna have to explain the robot in the background. Essentially, if one of the Adaptus Sororitas members ever commits like a sin in the name of the Emperor or something like that, they will basically robe themselves to the most skinniest outfit possible, which is why she's showing so much skin, but also covering herself and her sensitive parts. And she would be hooked up to this machine, constantly being pumped with drugs and stuff like that, into this war machine as a form of repentance for her sins, and hopes that, you know, if her being in this machine and she survives, then the Emperor has forgiven her, or that she can make up for it in battle with the number of kills she gets. Personally, I absolutely hate those mechs, and I am definitely not adding them into my Adaptus Sororitas army when I get into that. And yes, I'm getting multiple miniature armies in the future.
What? No. Hold the lines! Don't mindlessly charge into the ocean of murder blades down there, you...
Also, yes, they also do that if they lose someone.
Wow, that's brave. I am as religious as any ecclesia. But what's with your troops having a martyr complex?
I wish I was actually dead.
Enough of this. Pushing them back at this stage is a fool's errand. They must have a weakness, an Achilles heel.
Have you tried contacting the Inquisitor, I imagine?
This is not a bad idea.
You're welcome, Captain.
Just fucking shoot it! Can't move. All pain nerves at maximum capacity.
Inquisitor Cryptman, this is Godfrey of the...
Now that little device on his chest, that's a communicator but for the Inquisitioner, and I think that's also his Inquisitor badge. Think of it like, you know, like FBI, you know, when they show the FBI identity tag kind of thing to indicate, yes, I am legit. That's all.
But Ravens.
I'm busy dying right now. Fuck off!
I'm sure. However, I would like some advice on how to fight these aliens. You know, these Tyranids.
Fuck's sake! Just target the big brain ones. Preferably the big banana horned beast.
Banana, you say?
researches. My last pair of glasses. My single data collection. Especially my single data collection.
I'm not reading those.
Because of you.
Cryptman, how can he stand?
This is also something that they do.
You may believe yourself. You decrepit space blade. You have done fucked up because you just needed arsenal. I'll kill you to death, you little poison.
Yeah, so basically he managed to do that through his own will.
His willpower actually nullified the Queen's powers. That's hilarious.
Stop babbling and kill it now.
How dare you, motherfucker! Wait, no, hold on. Wouldn't it be fucking mother... You know what? Fuck this. Why did we let him into the kill team? He keeps stealing kills. It's a kill team, not a kill individual.
Deal with it, bub.
Woo! Victory for the fucking righteous! But fuck it. We'll pay.
Don't talk now, Inquisitor. You're only accelerating the oozification of your remaining brain matter. The non-queen is already dead, thanks to your potassium intake.
Good boy. Wait, something's not right.
What in the Emperor's name was that? It made my betches gland tickle.
I would bet on a psychic phenomenon caused by this creature's death.
Oh man, you're back.
Indeed. I suppose we got the desired result after all.
Yep. Your return to reason proves that the Shadowing Warp has lost its potency, thanks to the Queen's death.
Oh. This might be a terrible blow to the High Fleet. But the battle on the planet's surface is still a problem.
Oh yeah, about that. I wonder what Captain Weirdfree is up to right now.
I don't know what gun does that.
Booyah! Knowledge is power, Verbin.
We're going to talk about the
Oh, last cannons.
entire third of the company to make us able to approach this.
So those things are big last cannons, and that's pretty much it.
No.
I thought as much.
Pathetic.
Inquisitor, good news.
Captain Godfrey, what's the situation?
The malefic banana beast has been defeated, and it was indeed effective. It seems the sentience of these beasts has been upset. Absolutely no coordination.
Now, if you're wondering why they're attacking each other, basically after when their leadership commander person dies, essentially they go into a much more animalistic instinct, which is like, acting more like animals, which are eating and stuff like that. As well as, since they're not coordinated, they don't know weak spots. And also, this also happens sometimes. They just don't know what to do. Oh, those are the psychic ones I was talking about. They just exploded because of psychic problems. Same with, like, the cloak ones. They aren't fully cloaked anymore.
We are finally starting to hold our ground firmly. Or at least, what remains of it.
So the Hive Fleet has turned into a swarm of decapitated chickens running in circles. Nice. Yeah, exactly
like I said. Wait.
Oh, yes, I guess he it funds. I'll show her let's go see
Brother Rudeface, Shanton is not necessary.
If he's like that again, does that mean...
Yes. This is not over.
But the two primary conduits of the High Fleet are already dead. See, the Queen remains a bloodied corpse.
Perhaps it gave birth to something in its dying breath. In an incubation chamber far away from here.
Now, he was referring to an incubation chamber in the distance, meaning it's still on the ship. It's just distance away. Or in their rejuvenal pods, or whatever, I forget they're called. It's what makes Tyranids on the ground, because they have this, like, cesspool that they are constantly grabbing biomass and stuff and going into this pool, melting themselves down to create new Tyranids that would rise. And so when the Nord Queen died, she must have transferred her subconsciousness into that pod area to create a warrior. But again, there are many possibilities. So that's the rejuvenation pods giving birth.
Whatever's happening, 1 out of 1 apothecaries recommend you get out of here now.
You know, it's actually easy to forget that we're essentially in the belly of a giant beast right now.
Deathwatch, ready your teleport devices. Guided vectoring shall lead us to the locator beacon upon Victoria Primus.
Why didn't we use this to get on Victoria Primus first instead of risking our lives here?
Because arriving here to kill the Nord Queen was just as damning as taking part in the battle. Holy shit! Just use the fucking teleport homer, you dizzy cat!
But this also explains how in Warhammer it's like, we have exterminatus, why do we need ground forces? Because it's the Emperor's will and we must kill the heretics.
Captain Godfrey, a new problem seems to have arisen. Have you seen anything unexpected on your part?
Captain Godfrey, do you copy? I hear you, Inquisitor. Excuse the delay. We had not received intel about a second banana beast. It arrived from the skies just moments ago.
Another
Okay, so basically the thing gave birth on the ship and then it arrived through a drop pod.
How did it look like? How did it look like?
Same, but bigger, evil, with 4 really nasty swords.
Guess who's back? And since now that they have a leadership commander, this means that the Hive, that means they are now back in business. They are no longer separative or anything like that. Now, if you're wondering why they are not all dead yet, keep in mind these are now wild animals after they lose the psychic connection, so it's like chasing down rats in a house. It's going to be difficult, and a planet to recover from a Tyranid attack could take up to maybe even years or even thousands of years to recover from it. I mean, look at us right now with the pandemic. So far, sure, there's not much, but even after this, there's going to be a lot of repairs we're going to have to fix from.
All remaining big-tick monsters have gathered for a coordinated assault, and they're coming right this way.
Captain, listen to me. That thing is a swarm lord. The same legendary atrocity that bested Manius Calgar himself in combat, nearly slaying the entirety of the Ultramarines 100 years ago. You and your troops will never be able to withstand his final assault if you act so defensively. Our only hope...
Now you're probably thinking to yourself, but wait, that was over about 100 years ago and the Swarm Lord looks exactly the same. Again, that's another thing that's very weird about the Tyranids is they're always improving their forces constantly, that even from past recordings, things could change in a way.
Despite the
Your sacrifice will be too great! Do you hear me?
Copy that. Overspite. Everyone, kill the new banana monster at all costs.
Well, my apologies. My troops are too busy being dead.
Now, where is the marshal? He should be leading his Harlites into. Wait a minute.
Brought out with weapon. Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
His name shall be remembered in the halls of glory, I suppose. You don't happen to have a plan of action, do you, Colonus?
Helping the heroic sacrifice of my sisterhood and that Arctis will inspire the rest of your troops, I guess. Other than that, the Emperor's life left this world.
Not on our death watch.
A reference to the Death Watch, naming after thing, instead of death, it's just called watch. Like watchtower, watch ship, watch gun, all that stuff.
Oh hey, it's the Death Watch.
We are ready to challenge the Swarm Lord and rid this world of its abominable presence.
Over a trail of bodies if necessary.
About damn time we got some more action.
Oh, I'm better now. Really sure we have an 80% chance of dying.
Incredible power!
Oh, fuck, Cyrus, it's time to do your utterly broken bullshit sniping thing.
Losing strength.
Don't you losing strength me, you useless magpie! Olin, use your dumb wolf magics! Oh, not again!
Hey, you! Emperor's chief is the Ultramarines?
They answer no distress call. Seems my brothers did their job.
By the way, those are drop pods. They carry like armies and stuff. Basically like squads.
Round 2, cockroach. We are the Ultramarines, proud sons of Gilliman. Once we still draw breath, we will know no peace. Whilst you insist, your pain will know no end. And once come attack Ultima again, I fucking dare you! Oh, alright. Who the fuck called us?
That would be us, on behest of Inquisitor Cryptman of the Ordo Xenos.
Seriously? We received about 500,000 fucking spam mails in our Vox box.
The Vox box is basically, you know, like a cell phone and stuff like that. That's all.
We're all facetious. Next time, try to kill these insects yourself for once. Oh, the Tyranids have arrived. Oh. What do you think we are? Space exterminators?
Well, since you're veterans of all the Tyrannic wars thus far, I'd say that's actually a pretty apt description.
A reference to just, again, you know, Games Workshop making the Ultramarines the poster boys of everything. Luton, if you can hear this, man, I will challenge your Ultramarine army in the future once when I get my army made. Again, really gotta hold on this stuff. And also, if you guys want to know why I always keep mentioning, like, this big plan in 2015, let me know in the comments down below if you guys want me to make a video about it. And I would actually love to talk about it, and maybe you guys can help me out with that.
Come now, Lord of Ultima. There's no need to get violent.
Secure your face.
By the way, the guy on the left is a Blood Raven's apothecary. He looks slightly different because sometimes people wear the bird mask and stuff like that, but they still fulfill the same role.
You shit fucking original character. You don't even canon.
I don't even know what that's supposed to mean.
Damn it. I mean, this is getting too meta again. Now that Scar time's vicarious. Was taking dire advantage of my absence.
Yeah, you might want to check your throne once you're back at the crab. Also, hail, Lord Kalgar. It is an honor.
Fuck to shut up, you fucking quitter! You stay in your fancy death pod for the longest vigil possible!
That I definitely will, my lord.
Sergeant Valamas! Initiate protocol, fuck off! We are finished here.
Well, it's been fun, despite the fact that I'm the lone survivor of my entire force and have this link.
By the way, the thing behind her is one of those, like, pits where they would put biomass in to make more Tyranids.
Urge to lay down and die.
Why no? Mercy kill. Ask for the Emperor's peace and it shall be delivered.
And that is true. If you wish to die, they will grant it.
Oh, damn, I need a bigger kill count.
The Dark Angels are fucking heretics.
And that is a reference to, again, the Dark Angels chapter has been known for doing good and bad things. It's one of those things like, yo, we did some bad stuff during the Horus Heresy. No one really cares, but to the Dark Angels, they worry sometimes, you know? They just think that if they find out, they get exterminated, and that's all. They're just very all secretive, and they want to keep people from finding out those secrets.
So, it seems victory upon Victoria Primus has been secured. What happens now?
We celebrate at last. The aliens have been vanquished, and Victoria Primus has been kept from their nefarious claws.
Are you truly convinced of that, Captain?
Hmm? I'm sure everything's on the other side of the planet.
And that's actually what it is like, actually, in all the battles of the Tyranids. But at the end, when you win that battle, almost everything is lost. Was it really worth sacrificing manpower, or was it just okay just to let the Tyranids take it all? Or commit exterminatus?
And thus, everyone eventually got their shit together. The Blood Ravens bid everyone farewell. And not without doing their usual fucking thing, of course.
We're just stealing the relics. Which is what he was doing. So yeah, they managed to get their relics.
Then, one
Once Cryptman got a new provisory ship, 2 members of the Death Watch kill team were summoned to report to their watch fortress.
Now the watch fortress is mostly multiple different fortresses where, you know, the Death Watch members would stay, train, and also become a Death Watch member.
So let me get this straight. During your ungodly prolonged service to Inquisitor Fidus Kreutzmann, a Tyranid High Fleet attacked your lone ship, only to withdraw almost instantly. Then you got lost in space, blaming the shadow in the warp for disrupting your sensors, even though it is a psychic phenomenon that affects living beings like psychers, not sensors and arrays and star maps. Then you stumble upon a hive world that you deem to be, and I quote, a perfect target for a Tyranid fleet. Only for you to randomly meet an entire company of Bloodraven Space Marines on a whim, who told you that they were, and again, I quote, free of any duties and would like to join you in whatever you are doing. And then you tell me that this Draken character...
Now the skull thing is just a little data skull, just for to do projections and stuff like that.
The researcher working for Inquisitor Kripman was allied to the Tyranids, because apparently he had something in common with these mindless aliens and wished to join them. Finally, you were fortunate enough to have the Ultramarines themselves come to your rescue without any form of prior notice. Oh, and shortly after your victory, the Bloodravens, in all of their misappropriating glory, proceeded to come onto your ship and, out of all the things you possessed, once more, I quote, stole Cyrus.
Yeah.
Hang on, I need to Google.
Stole Cyrus.
Hang on, I'm gonna Google what Cyrus is, guys, because I actually really don't know. Let's see here, Warhammer 40k, and what is... I'm very curious, what even is Cyrus? Oh, okay, so Cyrus is that sniper guy of the group. Oh my gosh, they stole him. Wait, he's a relic? What? This is some new lore that I repeat, must find out more about.
Yeah, pretty much.
I know Watchmaster Verba. In retrospect.
So that's Watchmaster Verba, and basically it's their version of a chapter master.
Might sound
Extremely dumb, yes. Are you certain you weren't just...
Also, I have no idea what chapter he's a part of. I've never seen that symbol ever in my lifetime of the lore.
stuck in the warp since last century? Because that would explain a lot.
Pretty certain we were not. Or were we?
What are we to do regarding Cyrus's absence, Watchmaster?
You know what? The Bloodravens can have it their way. I have little to no interest in their schemes. On the contrary, if this helps keep them away from my watch fortress, I certainly have no objection.
Yeah, the Watch Forces contain a lot of relics of many different Space Marine chapters, which is why he's bringing that up.
What about Krypton?
What about Krypton?
Well, you know, he had that Draken fellow in his crew. Turned out to be a Xenohorrificus. Krypton knew about it and just kept him for his knowledge and effectiveness at work. He was very adamant about not letting this information leak anywhere. What is your word concerning this? Should it be tolerated?
Deathwatch, can you identify this?
It's a sword?
Good. Continue to waste my time. Delaying my war councils with this pointless meeting, probably only doomed to Why not
Now, the war crimes are those who make decisions, that's all.
extend the number?
Oh, it's a nightlight.
That's 3 planets.
Ah, a xenophage blade.
Where is it from?
I am not at liberty to say.
Exactly. See that Draken fellow with the same eyes? All know its origins, clearly excepting you, Linnaeus. But all are forbidden to speak of it, for it is, of course, very embarrassing. So pursuing your Inquisitor for this one radical decision would be hilariously hypocritical.
Isn't the entire Imperium built on hypocrisy?
Quiet!
And that is true.
Dino is dead anyhow. No one cares.
So, will we be returning to our kill team now?
No. You two are out. Go back to your chapter.
Beg your pardon?
Considering both that story of yours and your personal files, you two are unfit to be part of the Death Watch after all. Voland, you're too nice and optimistic, and you, Linnaeus, you're too brash, and your toilet humor is horrid. I hate it.
Well, that's shitty to hear.
I have already sent forth replacements to make up for your absence. Dismissed. Fuck off.
Forgive me, brother. I have failed you. I must atone for my sins.
For fuck's sake, Dutch. You won't do a step on my foot or you fly.
Only got to your workers of the Fifth Century.
Ow!
So you know.
I have no idea what they're talking about.
What's the final verdict on the Victoria Primus conflict? Did we make any sort of advancement? Because besides the safeguarding of Imperial assets, this all seemed relatively pointless.
We can now conclusively say that Ultramarines win forever and Tyranids are bad.
Weren't they always bad?
No, only mildly awful. They now reached the level 5 menace bad.
But what is left of these insectoid dinosaurs now is just a shadow of their former self. And they were rightly crushed, so what's your point?
This Tyranid menace is indeed history. High Fleet Behemoth, that is. We might have not needed to make use of the Exterminatis this time around, but... In my time aboard the Hive ship, after the non-Queen was vanquished, it leaked a phenomenal psychic message that my mind accidentally intercepted. I received visions of something that might surpass all our worst expectations. I believe I was given the sickened privilege of looking at the very face of our adversary. And what I can say is that it is not a face, but rather a mouth.
You're getting a little more grimdark.
Rather.
So I'm going to explain that, and this, just looking at this, gives me goosebumps. This is the High Fleet, the Tyranids. This is them. And up there is the solar system. And throughout Warhammer 40k, and its lore, this massive thing is slowly making its way up to us. Throughout Warhammer 40k's lore, we've only encountered just the nail. That's right, the nail of this big creature.
You're getting a little more grimdark than usual here, Cryptman. You feeling okay?
Oh, definitely not. But I'll be better after a good recap. With a lot of milk for my skull bone, it needs to be fortified.
Oh yeah, and that's it guys. We did it. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I'm just going to let the credits roll. And yeah, just displaying all the awesome voice actors. Personally, This is one of my favorite series in the TTS series. I think the second one's gotta be the Occultist Group of Chaos. I think we'll cover that as a bonus thing in the future, but yeah, I'm just very incredible by this thing. And I love that, it's just, ugh. But yeah, that's it. But anyway, psych, did you really think we were going to end it like that? No. There was a part he made in between part 2 and part 3 of Behemoth. And here it is, Leviathan, part 1 of 243. Leviathan, final doom of the galaxy. Yeah, so essentially to explain that, that's how Cryptman got kicked out of the Inquisition for committing exterminatus on a global scale on different planets. Now, if you're wondering what global scale is, that's basically trillions of planets. And that's just the representation of global, as well as just mostly that is what exterminatus is like. Just a single big ordnance being dropped on a planet. Meanwhile, on Arcturus, which is a planet for orcs, and these are orcs actually, as you can see. Some of them are just basic soldiers. The other one's got like some metal and stuff on his body, because again, that's just how the orcs work. If they believe hard enough, it will work. Yeah, so he made this list 3 in 2 days on a whim. It was the most funniest thing ever. And that's it. Let's continue forward. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. As always, this is NV Videos, and as always, have a nice day. Well, anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you would, please leave a like, subscribe, and most importantly, have a nice day.